What is going on, everyone? Loida with TBC at Real. And in today's video, I am going to tell you absolutely everything that you probably want to know in regards to cold calling expireds, for sale by owners, and circle prospecting. So get your pen, get your paper out because you're going to be taking a lot of notes. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have recently started cold calling or you want to start making calls, but you want to get a better idea as to what to expect. So let's begin with the expireds. Expireds are obviously people that have come off the market unsold for one reason or another. We don't know exactly what happened. Some of the reasons why properties come off the market as expired might be that they were tenant occupied and the tenants made it extremely difficult to show the place. Another reason, maybe the sellers were just unrealistic on the price and the agent just didn't get a lot of activity. Another one, maybe the home just didn't show well and people were not really interested in making an offer. There are just so many different reasons as to why a property might come off the market expired. And unfortunately, another one might be that the agent was just being shady. I mean, that is just the reality of this business. There's going to be a lot of real estate agents that are trying to double in deals and they just won't present offers to their clients, even if they have it. Now, you're probably wondering, well, isn't that illegal? It is illegal, but we see it happening. That's why I'm telling you that that might be a reason. I have seen it, and there's just certain things that won't add up logically as you're talking to these expireds. So, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you were talking to an expired and they told you that they had a lot of activity, they had a lot of showings, they had open houses, a lot of people came through, but they did not receive any offers. To me, that's a red flag. I mean, if you're getting a lot of activity, it means people were interested in the property, so it was probably priced correctly. So why weren't there any offers? I would then ask the expired, what was the feedback that their agent gave them? If an expired tells me, well, the agent didn't really give us any feedback, now that tells me that perhaps the agent was doing something, maybe trying to get their own buyer, or maybe the agent just didn't know what they were doing. At the end of the day, as a listing agent, it is your job to make sure that you are 100% communicating with your seller and letting them know exactly what is going on with the listing, the activity, the feedback. That way you can see exactly what it is that you need to do. As you're calling expireds, a lot of them are probably going to be upset because they're getting so many phone calls. I mean, their property came off the market unsold, and there's so many different services out there that agents can subscribe to get all of these phone numbers. So just be ready for them to either be upset, they might cuss at you, they might yell at you, they might call you names. But look, don't take anything personal. You don't know what they're going through. Maybe they have some personal issues that they have to handle. So, however it is that they respond to you, just know that, look, at the end of the day, you did nothing wrong. This is the first time that you're calling them. It's not your fault that their property expired. You have no idea what they went through with the last agent or what happened just in general with their situation. So, never take things personal. I say this multiple times because I have posted a few things on my Instagram regarding cold calling. I love to do skits. And some agents asked me, how do you handle the rejection and people yelling at you and all of these things? And look, when I was newer in the business, it did get to me and it would make me upset. But I learned that at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with me. I cannot control people's emotions or reactions when I'm making phone calls. And now it makes me laugh. I think it's funny. I don't take it personal. If they are being just so rude and dramatic and just like over the top, then I just move on. Move on. If you're getting people that you're like, man, this person's gonna ruin my day, just hang up and move on to the next call. Along with these expireds, now the market's crazy. I mean, we're seeing changes, it goes up and down, and some homes are taking longer to sell. In some markets, we're still seeing multiple offers and homes selling above asking price. So look, no matter where it is that you're located, it might still be possible that the market has affected the prices of the homes, and that's maybe a reason why the property didn't sell and came off the market unsold. Maybe there was activity, but because the interest rates have gone up, the pool of buyers has also decreased. So maybe the activity or the expectations that you had regarding your listing just were not there. As you're making these calls to these expireds, it's really important for you to ask questions and find out exactly what happened. Where were they going to be moving to? What was their time frame? What do they think stopped the home from actually selling? You'd be surprised as to how much information sellers are going to give you. And at that point, it is your job to be a very skilled agent to see how it is that you can solve the problem. Obviously, there was some type of problem as to why the property didn't sell. And obviously, a homeowner has put their property up for sale because they had some type of motivation to make a move, whether it's to upsize, downsize, maybe they wanted to move to another city, a state, whatever it is, figure that out. Be a listener. Figure out, what happened. Talk to me. Mr. Seller, I would be equally frustrated if I was getting all these calls. What happened? Why do you think that your home didn't sell? These are the type of conversations that I'm having because now this is what separates me from any other agent that's making these cold calls that sounds the same. You'll get a whole bunch of expires that tell you, you know what, you all sound the same. You all sound like you use the same script. So what do we do? If you want to sound different, you have to use pattern interrupts. You have to say things that will catch them off guard that they're probably not hearing from other agents. If you want to get very good at calling expireds, make sure that you're role playing. Role play with other agents that are going to be tough on you because believe me, it's not going to be frequently that you talk to expires and they're just going to be ready to go and you're going to set appointments. A lot of them are going to give you so many different objections, and a lot of them are going to require multiple follow up phone calls. And if possible, I would definitely recommend for you to go and door knock them. If you're enjoying this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Next, let's move on to for sale by owners. I can tell you that a lot of them are probably not going to be ready to list on the very first call. Some of the popular objections that you're going to hear are that they're trying to save the commission. They're never going to list with the listing agent. They're probably going to tell you if you have a buyer, bring them over. They're also going to tell you that they know somebody, whether it's a relative or friend or I don't know, someone that they know is a real estate agent. And if they did decide to list the house, it would probably go with them. So you need to be prepared and you need to have objection handlers for all of these. Whether it's expires for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures, or whoever it is, make sure that you have at least 3 or 4 different objection handlers for every single common objection that you hear. This will make you a very sharp real estate agent so that when you're making these phone calls or even in person, that homeowner is going to know that you're the real deal and they cannot mess with you and they're not going to bring you down. While you're going to get those for sale by owners that are adamant about trying to sell a home on their own, you're also going to come across for sale by owners that are completely oblivious to the process and absolutely have an urgency to sell immediately. In the past, I have listed for sale by owners that needed to sell their home very quickly because they had a job transfer and they thought that going for sale by owner was going to be the quickest route to get this done. When I made the phone call, I found out about their situation, their time frame, their motivation, and I also shared with them how it was a benefit to partner up with me. They were totally open to it. I had set the appointment the next day. I went over, took the listing, full commission, no objections, and we got the job done. In this case in particular, we listed the property and it sold for $15,000 above asking price. So I don't want you to be scared when making these calls to for sale by owners, thinking that they're all mean or that they're never going to hire real estate agents. Some of them will. Some of them just do not even know a real estate agent, so they go the for sale by owner route. We do not want to categorize every for sale by owner into this box that they're all just mean people that hate agents and don't want to pay commission. Because at the same time, I have listed for sale by owners and have gotten 7% commission on it. So again, just keep that in mind. Let this be a motivation for you to make these calls to expireds and for sale by owners. Now, there's so many YouTube videos out there and other agents that tell you that cold calling is dead or door knocking is dead or that there's much easier ways to prospect on social media and all these other things that I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, I can tell you that for me, making these phone calls has improved my communication skills, my confidence to a point that no matter who it is that I'm talking to, I know that if they are motivated, if they are realistic, and they actually want to make a move, I know that I have the skill set to be able to set appointments and get these listings. And that's why I'm sharing all of these tips with you because you can go back to the beginning videos of my channel and you can see how bad I was with for sale by owners. And now I have no problem with picking up a phone and calling expires for sale by owners or whoever you want to throw my way. With for sale by owners, another thing that you want to keep in mind is that a lot of them are just not realistic. They are testing the market. They're trying to see if they can find that buyer, the needle in the haystack buyer that's probably not even going to be out there. And they're just kind of wasting their time. So you have to be able to figure out who you want to invest your time with, especially as you're making these calls to these people. And one thing to note is that whoever it is that you're calling, as soon as you hear someone disrespecting you, if they're being rude, if they're cussing you out, if you're just feeling like there's someone that you probably never want to work with, then just move on. It's okay to pass on business. It's okay to pass on those clients, those for sale by owners, those expireds, those homeowners that you just already have a feeling that they're probably going to be the biggest nightmare to work with. I had those feelings early on in my career, and I still chose to work with those people. And let me tell you how much I regretted it. These people made my life a living hell. I got paid at the end of the day, but I worked my ass off. And it was almost like once I got to the end, I was like, man, if I would have been able to avoid this or made a better choice to pass on this client to someone else or just let them find another agent, I would have lived a much happier life. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because you can kind of have that gut feeling. If someone is going to be very difficult, you probably might want to skip on working with them. And you probably think, oh, well, Lloyd, I really don't have any deals going on, so I have to take whatever business I take. I have said it in many videos in the past, you have to have standards. Have standards and boundaries as to what type of work you're willing to take, what clients you're willing to work with, and hopefully that helps you make a better decision. And last, I want to talk about circle prospecting. These calls are a little bit easier to make than the expires or the for sale by owners because typically the homeowners are much nicer once they pick up the phone. However, you will get those people that pick up the phone, they say hello, and as soon as you say who you are, they just hang up on you. I mean, that just happens in general for anyone that you cold call with. In my experience, through circle prospecting, I have gotten a lot of buyer leads. Here and there, I do get listings. If you are going to circle prospect, I recommend that you do a just listed or a just sold script. What I mean by that is that let's say you currently don't have any listings active. See if anyone at your brokerage has recently closed something in your neighborhood, or maybe just another listing that has recently closed in the neighborhood that you want to start targeting and farming or whatever you want to do, and see what was listed or what was just sold. You want to take a look at the price. If you can, go preview it yourself, especially if it's vacant, and then just cold call around it. Cold call that zip code, promote it. You would be surprised. A lot of agents don't circle prospect or leverage the fact that they have a property that they just listed or just sold. So this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and do that. Something that I like to do is that I also like to door knock around it. So let's say that you decide to do door knocking, whether it's just listed or just sold, go to that property once again or see it. You can take a look at pictures on the MLS, see what the condition of it was, how much it was listed for, how much it's sold for, the average days on market, or how long it took for it to go under contract, and then use all of that information to knock the neighbors and let them know. You would be surprised. A lot of neighbors are really nosy and they want to know exactly all of the details of what happened with that house. And like I said, a lot of the times the actual listing agent is not even doing this type of prospecting. So this is a great way for you to put yourself out there and for people to see your face. Circle prospecting is easier. You will get a lot of database ads. And what I mean by that is people that you can probably add to your database. Maybe they're not going to be looking to buy or sell anytime soon, but perhaps you had some really great conversations and you were able to also collect their email, which you now can use when you're sending email newsletters, whether you do that weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or however you have that set up. Whether you are new or you have been in the business for a long time, know that this type of prospecting still works. Now, as you're talking to people, there are actually 4 different type of personalities that you need to watch out for. So make sure to watch the next video where I cover all of that. That way you know exactly how to mirror and match these personalities and have better conversions on the phone.